Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, Laselle Anungu.
Be connected! Be connected! Be connected!
Test. Is this working? All right. I'm back on. Sorry about that. I had to get my mic was off. My mic was off, so I had to leave you guys with something. Shout out to everybody already in the chat room. Everybody's like, what the fuck? Oh, man. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? This is episode number 250. As always, the show is brought to you by Equity Feed, equityfeed.com. Get 2 weeks free at equityfeed.com. No credit card required. This is episode number 250. This is crazy. 250 episodes. I don't know how many. I'm just going to keep going until this shit pops off something crazy or just, I'm still growing. A lot of you guys are growing. I'm getting great emails and feedback about the show every day. And I'm just going to keep doing it as long as I can. But sorry I'm late, guys. But, man, I mean, every girlfriend I've ever had, like at the beginning, since I've been doing this show, right? Since I've been doing with this show for a year and a half, I've casually been with 3 women and seriously with 1. And at the beginning, they always loved the show, right? At the beginning, they loved the show. But there comes a time eventually in the relationship, I already know it's going to come, where they start to get jealous of the show. They literally start to get jealous of the show, where it becomes, now it's like, oh, you are it's the show versus me, not me personally, but the woman. That's how they start looking at it. And I swear I can't wait to one day find a woman who sees the show as a benefit to us both, because when I go out with a woman, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the times I'm entertaining her, not with money that I'm using from my affiliate marketing sites or from my trading, but a lot of the stuff that I do from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? From this, the YouTube cash. We go out to eat. We spend a little couple dollars at the restaurant, Applebee's or some shit. Go out to the movies. That's YouTube change. They don't. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about women. They don't understand when a man is doing business. You know what I mean? They don't understand when a man is doing business. They don't understand how, I'm using YouTube to facilitate traffic to my websites, to my affiliate links, you know, I just they don't get it. They don't get it, man. Anyway, I just wanted to bounce that energy off you guys, and because I know I'm not the only man in here who's dealing with a woman who just wants time, but I don't have time to waste. And I'm not saying a time with a woman is wasteful time, but damn, I got better things to do. Anyway, 845, you're on the air. You're my first caller. What's up?
Hey, it's Ken. How are you?
Ken, what's going on with you, man?
Got real excited around 6 p.m. tonight, and on Twitter, I saw people tweeting about IMUC, and I remember what you said. Anything with cancer, get the F in. So I got it in the after hours.
That's all it is. Cancer. Look, that's that right there. Anybody who solves that, or even gets close to solving that, or who has produced a drug that alleviates some type of symptom regarding that, that's a multi-billion-dollar business. So potential business if they get it right. So IMUC, that's the title of my show right now, up 150% after hours right now. That's a lot after hours. I mean, that's a lot of gain after hours. So I'm a little bit scared about how this is going to hold up in the morning. And I have yet to really delve deep into the news release. But I'm sure, Ken, you got a little bit of information you can tell us about how exactly, what exactly is being said there.
Just that they have this treatment, and they mentioned that the float is I think 3 million shares and it's 48% short. It's some African Emporium. I saw he tweeted about it too, so he was aware of it as well after hours. So I'm hoping it can squeeze to the 75 cents to $1 and get out in the morning. That's my goal.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely see how this can go tomorrow. The stock was beat up all year. I mean, it's just been one of those companies that's just been down and out for the most of 20. I mean, you can go back to 2014. This has been a slow slider going lower. It's done something like this before. Those gains didn't hold at all for the most part.
Right.
So using the past as a determination of the future, I probably see that happening again. Yeah, definitely try your best to catch the top, which looks like it does end up extending, after the open, and then eventually just for some reason going lower after that.
I agree. Who knows? They might have an offering. You don't know. So you got to be smart in the morning.
Yeah.
One more to mention: the DPW. This is one of those. It became a crypto company. It wasn't a crypto company. What's interesting is they have a investors webcast on Wednesday the 20th.
Okay.
And the stock did 40 million volume today, and it has only 10 million in the float.
Yeah. This is a crazy company. We've talked about this one. Yeah, the float is really low and just above Roku. I mean, literally, it's one of the lowest. It's got one of the lowest floats in both tradable markets, including the Dow and the NASDAQ. If you go to lowfloat.com, it's one of the smaller ones out there. And DPW, I mean, this is a stock that isn't worth anywhere near what it's trading for right now in market cap. But at the end of the day, that small float, that excitement has got it up there. It's scary to short, and with this presentation, it could very well go higher. We'll see what happens.
And also, I think the sell-off in RIOT contributed to the money going into DPW because the CNBC did the hit piece on it. RIOT.
That hit piece was clean, man. They hit Riot clean today. Caught a lot of people off guard. I saw all the crying and boo-hooing on stock twits. But, I mean, they should have seen it coming. And these things are going to happen when you have these stocks that are up huge, and, you're going on a national network. You got a lot of people who, they're friends of friends and say, hey, man, go take this shit out for me. And that's basically what they did. And Riot loaded up the short sellers who were already in there.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to call in early because I'm exhausted, not feeling too good. So, and it's freezing up here in New York. It's like the teens. It is horrible weather.
Oh man, get warm, bro. And again, thank you so much for the call, Ken.
All right, take care.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Ken. Appreciate the call, man. And great call on Boeing, by the way. He didn't necessarily call it, but he just kind of explained why Boeing was doing so well. And Boeing, man, just continuing to rocket higher. I was not aware of the share repurchase that was going on Boeing, and that looks just to be another great, addition to the market in terms of just gains upon gains upon gains upon gains. And this tax plan is just going to help even further. Shout out to all the people in the chat room. What's going on, Jason? Bitcoin B. Eduardo Cruz. Gerardo. Otis Johnson. SC Trucker. Brandon L. What's up, man? DPG said love a woman, but it's hard to stay with them. Oh, man. Look, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, every man has got to find that woman for him. Some guys, it's more than one woman. Some guys, it can never be a woman, and some guys can just never be committed. But, I'm not going to sacrifice what I love to do to be with to be with somebody. I think, man, that'll be quite a sacrifice to make, just to not, So I just got to find the middle ground. That's all. I got to find the middle ground. SC Trucker talking about CPAH. Counterpath. This is kind of one of those two, you just really couldn't see coming, man. I saw this one as a huge gainer today. There was nothing really to see this coming. I did nowhere in the chart. The float was basically, it had a low float, but just there was no volume prior to today's move. But I mean, look, it's a small cap. It did what a small cap, does to great news. And they put out a really great earnings report. The market loved it. And it's up 60. It was up well over, I think it was at 93%, and then before cooling off to a 62% gain. You left a lot of people up there at the high. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and look at that 5-minute chart. You left a lot of people up there this morning. There it is. Left a lot of people up there this morning. Not enough shares to short to make it worth anybody's while. Here's the Bollinger Bands. Let me see what the 15. Yeah, where's the 15 moving average here on the 5-minute? Nice little safe moving average for shorters to use. So I know a lot of guys use 13. Some guys use 4 and 8. 15 gets you in there a little bit later, but enough where you can get a nice little move to the downside and still be able to work out, some profit, even though you're not in at the top. So nice move there on CPAH if you were able to get in long or short. Again, after the moving average breakdown or staying into that morning move before the eventual pullback to the moving average. You can use that as well. Really, really good method that, what's his name, Cameron Foose uses, the 13 moving average, and then he'll ride it higher and then play and sell into the breakdown into the 13. So that's a really good method too. You can check that out on his videos. Where I used to give away all that shit free, but then they try to sue me and shit. GBTC, what's going on with GBTC? That should be selling off. GBTC should be selling off. I mean, it's had a really great run, right? It's had a really great run, but Bitcoin is selling off. GBTC should be selling off here. So I foresee GBTC pulling back a little bit over the next couple days. All right, I haven't followed GBTC. It's not a cheap stock, right? It's one stock that, what's his name, Alex Left tried to come at around these levels right here, right? It was like 800, 900. He tried to come after the company. Did a really good job, too, by the way. I mean, he really knocked them off their game there at about 1,000 or so, knocking it back to the fours. And then, after a while, it recovered and eventually found new buyers. And now we're seeing it here above 2,000, 2,300 to be exact. Well, shit. I mean, you're about 300% gain since those days back in September. Nice gain for GBTC if you can afford it. Said Ripple's moving. Yeah, Ripple's been insane. I mean, when I go back to when we first pulled up Ripple, a couple days ago on the show at, what was that, 24 cents, and to see where it is now, that's very impressive. In fact, let me pull up Ripple real quick, and we'll get back to the pennies because I want to make sure I get everything off the top of that. And they don't have Kraken. Okay, let's go with Kraken, even though Kraken is a little bit on the cheap side. 47 cents right now. That's the price of Ripple on Kraken. Did you guys hear about Coinbase hired a guy that was part of the Ripple development team? Did you guys hear that news? Oh, okay, silver by the ounce. Yeah, I just see you talking about that. Right, so that's an interesting development. MCOA, yeah, shout out to a guy who brought up MCOA, Jeff. MCOA, incredible volatility. I love MCOA, man. When it gets running hard. I love MCOA. And nice gain on MCOA. I always knew, I don't know where MCOA was on, this recent recent marijuana push, why nobody was touching MCOA, but sure enough, looks like somebody sent the email out on it or something, because very unusual volume for MCOA. The company, did they release news? No, they didn't really release any news. So that makes me suspect this was probably having to do with an email release. Nowhere to really kind of predict that. Nice move on MCOA. If we don't get any real news from the company soon, that's not going to last there at 3 cents. But as you can see, though, from the end of last month to where it is now, you're up about 70% on MCOA. Nice stock with really great share structure and, a relatively low float for an OTC stock that trades below a dime. Relatively low float. All right. BTCS may be a buy here. Yeah, BTCS was kind of one of those things where we talked about here on the show. I loved it at 10. At 15, sell everything. Practically all, get your profits. Pulling back down now at 12. I still think come back to 10. If it comes back to 10, I'll take it at 10 again. But at the same time, I want to see Bitcoin run again. I want to see Bitcoin go on another run here. Bitcoin's pulling back a little bit. If we pull on the Bollinger Bands, we're still in the bands, but we're still, we're roughing it out a little bit on Bitcoin right now. But we're still very, very healthy. Looking at the daily chart, still very, very healthy here on Bitcoin. But overall, BTCS, I like BTCS below 10. Below 10 or at 10, as you can see here throughout the daily chart on BTCS. 10, sub 10 is a beautiful, beautiful time to snatch up BTCS. So 12, by all means, be your guest, but I want 10 when we're talking about BTCS. I want 10. Javier, you said BTCS will do a merger soon. We'll do a merger soon. BTCS, closing on remaining balance, financing prefers forward move on planned merger, blockchain global. And blockchain global though, are they yeah, that was the one that came out on the 25th back in October. Yeah, they haven't really updated anybody since then regarding that. But I'm going to find out more information on where they are in the process with that. They put that out back in October. And at the end of the day, look, we're still talking about OTC stocks, so they say a lot of things and promise a lot of things are going to be done. Sometimes they won't ever be done. For example, SWRM. A lot of guys were really excited about this a couple days ago. Nobody brought it up on the show yesterday. It's still running. Company is still putting out news about the app that they want to create, but the fact of the matter is they don't have any cash to do the app. So, with that being said, the stock is still running, right? The stock is still running. Play the pump if you're already in it. And I got to give it to you because it's been a solid week and a half in SWRM. Stock is up now almost 900%. Again, 900% since the end of November. 900%, man. I give him a monster kill.
Monster kill.
SWRM. Huge move. Huge move. SWRM. All right. Yeah, Bitcoin B. I'm trying to do that arbitrage. I fucked up and forgot that, Coinbase, they let you get started basically same day. But these other brokers, they actually take like a day or two. I'm applying thinking like, okay, I'm going to get the opportunity to flip Bitcoin and Litecoin today. But I actually have to wait and allow that shit to go through and process and all that shit. But I can't wait till that follows through. FUSZ, Enfuse. Don't know too much about it. Low volume stock. All right, looks like OTC. They put out some news yesterday. One to watch. I don't know what the share structure looks like, so do your research on it if you're interested in FUSZ. Yeah, Coinbase lets you get started. I'm thinking they were all like Coinbase, but they're not all like Coinbase. ELTK, LTech Limited, semiconductor play, $6.9 million market cap. Currently losing money, but up 14% on the day. Not sure, don't see a reason why, but nice move to the upside today. 14.7% gain again today on that stock. You left some people up there at the high fives, 580 to be exact. Pulled back, got the buyers commit to 437 to end the day, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on it, but weekly doesn't look too strong. But keep me updated on it if you like it. We'll see what will happen. What happens to that? CANN. Look, we knew that, good things always will come to an end eventually. And look, this just could be another opportunity for the stock just to cool down and guys to be able to get back into this. We saw the same signal, although not as much of a, as strong of a candlestick several days ago, over a week ago in Cannes. But this candlestick is very bearish, right? It swallows up practically the previous day's volatility, and it shows a very strong commitment to the downside in that candlestick. Although you do have a slight shadow, so you did have buyers buy up the lows, but this is the first red day, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Whether or not we continue to see profit taking in Cannes, or are the sellers gone, and is this an opportunity for guys who've been sitting on the sidelines to jump in on some discount shares in CANN? So we'll be, looking and seeing how strong this pump can continue on CANN. It's going to be interesting to see. What's going on, Andrew? Yeah, we haven't gotten to talk about that. We're still reviewing the day, but yeah, most of you guys in here got the email, right, on Robinhood introducing options. That's going to be interesting to see how they implement that. The thing about options that, you just don't put in an option trade. You got to have the other signals, that are necessary for you to really, understand and see whether or not it's going to make sense for you, including implied volatility, data on the Greeks. And from what I know about Robinhood, it's pretty much a bare bones platform. So are they going to be offering that information, or is a potential option trader who uses Robinhood going to have to find that information somewhere else and then just kind of use Robinhood as a way to process orders? So I love the fact that it's going to be free. It's just going to be interesting to see how they're going to implement all this. But the fact that they've got a desktop platform coming, that's going to be huge. I think that could be a game-changing instrument for them to really bring a lot more serious traders to Robinhood, being that it's going to be free. And now they're going to be able to use have multi, monitor support and hopefully, again, more resources. But, look, guys have been using multiple programs to trade for years. I trade off TradingView as my, for my charts, and then simply use Interactive Brokers to place my orders. So guys have been doing that. And if that's what they're going to have to do, I see guys actually using Robinhood again if they implement multi-monitor support and also multi-charts. Obviously, having being able to use it on different screens and monitors and whatnot. But more honestly, allowing traders to short. That's going to be fun. All right. Somebody saying Ripple's moving again. Why is everybody? What's Ripple doing here? Ripple's back higher. Let's go to the 5-minute. Where are we at on Ripple? Here's the 5-minute on Ripple. Okay. So look, we're breaking higher on Ripple. You guys were talking like it's been all right. It's been a nice move for the day, though. We started the day at 34 cents. Now at 49 cents, solid gain. Love the fact that crypto trades 24 hours a day, man. Just love that. And the fact that, even for the fact that they trade 24 hours a day, on the top 50, you've got great all-day liquidity for the most part. Especially the top 10. For the most part, the top 10, you got all-day liquidity for the top 10. But nice. Ripple's moving. Let me know what the news is. I don't know if a company signed up or what. Let me know what the news is. If maybe a company signed up, because we know that's the corporate crypto. All right, that's the corporate crypto. But look, dirt cheap and could be headed for $1. Dirt cheap and could be headed for $1 here. Let me look at it. Obviously, we're probably outside the bands on it, but who cares? There it is right now. I figured we'd be outside the bands on Ripple. So play smart here, but it's going higher. As you can see here, we're outside the bands. Nice move for today. We should see a pullback later in the week, but for right now, it's moving higher. But play carefully there. Right. Ripple's going to Coinbase in 2018. I don't doubt it. Coinbase, they've got to add more selection to their offering, and they know that. They know that, they just can't serve up, 3 coins. They've got to, improve their user experience by, getting more coins on that exchange. Now, you're going to have to be a reputable coin to get on that exchange. They're not going to let it just anybody play on Coinbase, being that they're based in the U.S. and they're the more likely of all the brokers out there to be regulated or to come under some kind of regulatory threat. So they got to play it real smart. Let me see here. SING. Let's look at SING. SING holding up pretty well. Let me zoom out a little bit, see the bigger picture here. You know what SING did back in August, but holding up pretty well here. We were selling off last week, but looks like we found some new buyers and they're committed. So we'll see what's going on with Dries as that chart develops. Sing. I'm thinking about Dries because we're working that towards that mark, guys. Dries still holding up. Sold off today, but barely. And this is really consolidating here, man. I don't know if Callie's in the building or not, but Dries is really consolidating here. And we should be seeing a very powerful move up or down very, very soon in Dries. So that's developing really well. That wedge is surely coming together on Dries, and that's going to be very, very interesting to see. We'll see how that moves Dries, but as well as the other shipping stocks in that sector. All right, let's keep it moving. CAPR. CAPR up 5%. Now this is a stock I don't know too much about. Biotech play. Figure out what's going on behind the scenes here. Looks like they did release some news yesterday on a patent they're working on. Figure what's going on there, but don't know too much about CAPR. Love NVIDIA. Love NVIDIA. Obviously, you know, we got some strong profit taking in the stock right now. You know, it's the stock's up, what, 40% for 2017? Actually, I think a lot, yeah, about actually more than that, excuse me. Ooh. No, actually a lot more than that, my bad. A lot more than that. 40% since March. 40%, actually even more than that. Shit. Goddamn, NVIDIA's been on a tear. And it was the number one gainer on the street before recently MRNS overtook them. But they were number one for a while. I like NVIDIA, but I mean, obviously we got to find out where the low is here, obviously, because it's been selling off. We got to find out where the low is on NVIDIA, but I don't foresee NVIDIA losing for too much longer. But we got to find out where the floor is. Basically what's happening is we got some profit taking. You know, look, a lot of guys are up huge on NVIDIA, and you know, it just makes sense for the stock to cool off a little bit. But once it finds that bottom, you know, I think it runs away back to 200 very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. And I see evidence of that when I'm looking at my PayPal. Very similar stock, very similar, you know, gains for, not sim. When I say similar stock, I mean similar run up for the year. But, you know, very similar chart for the most part. But as we can see here, it found its low and it's working its way higher, back to, you know, winning again. And I think you're going to get the same thing out of NVIDIA, but again, I don't know how low that can go before those institutions, those sellers, those buyers, you know, until they're out. But I'm long PayPal, so I am biased on PayPal. I still have my $75 calls that I bought at 73, and I'm loving where that's acting right now. And I think PayPal does great next year. I think NVIDIA does great next year. All right, now, let's be honest, this tax plan doesn't necessarily help, you know, the tech companies, because for the most part, most tech companies don't even pay taxes, right? Most tech companies don't even pay taxes for the most part. I think there's a really great article you can Google on that. Tech companies pay taxes or whatever. They barely pay anything. So the tax plan isn't really a benefit to them. But at the end of the day, you know, we understand where technology is going, and we figure you can play the long on NVIDIA. In fact, if you go to marketbeat.com, the analyst, you know, price targets have not changed. They have not changed. At the end of the day, they did have an incredible earnings report, and I think the underlying business is still strong. But at the end of the day, yes, the stock is up several 100% for the year. Several 100% for the year. That's crazy to see, Desert Edge. Somebody talk about Snap moving. That's crazy to see. I mean, this is a company that came out, and you guys know I played this one on earnings. I told everybody to get in it. Some of you guys did. Most of you guys didn't. And we won big on Snap, playing the $14 puts that were in the money at the time. No, actually, no, they were out of the money at the time. Excuse me. They were out of the money at the time. The stock was at the 15 level. We played. It was a beautiful, beautiful call. But to see it running up, you know, now, yes, they had the 10-cent deal, and yes, they had the makeover of the app. But at the end of the day, they're still falling in the Apple App Store. You know, they're still falling. They're still losing popularity. So Snap has got a lot of problems that they still have to overcome. And I'm looking forward to their next earnings report, which is going to be in February, and I think we're going to see the same bad news. But if we're going to be seeing a Snap that's at 17, 18, I'm going to be more than happy to play that downside on Snap as well, if I'm not seeing any change in the demand of demand on the app and whether or not advertisers are actually taking Snap seriously. We'll see. All right, let's talk that. We'll get back into small caps in just a second. Baidu, I don't know too much about Baidu. Don't know too much about it. Baidu just kind of, how close is Baidu to Baba? I mean, I know they're not the same company, but, both Chinese companies, right? Both have something to do with the internet. Baba and Baidu are both companies that I've noticed a lot of analysts as well as CNBC in general, a lot of people don't like them. And I understand a lot of analysts just don't like Chinese companies just because they look at the numbers differently. But both of these companies have been killing it. Both of these companies have been killing it. But I understand a lot of people don't like the funny math that happens out there in China. All right, OSTK. But Baba is another one of those FANG stocks, right? I think it is part of the FANG. If I'm correct, I believe it is a FANG stock. OSTK, Overstock.com. Overstock.com, came out and said they want to do something with cryptocurrencies. They came out and said they were doing an ICO. There's a lot of things going on there in Overstock.com. The stock sold off, came right back. Nice move today, a 13% gain today on Overstock.com with some news on a acquisition. Well, actually just basically a partnership between JP Morgan Chase, Kroger, and them, possibly pursuing the idea of having a, mobile payment, system that'll enable, retail to have access to use Bitcoin. And that helps, that definitely helps, their bottom line, and helps the idea of, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies becoming a little bit more mainstream and actually being used. But here's the thing. I've talked about this here on the show, too, where you got a lot of stores, gas stations, you name it, who say, hey, we accept Bitcoin, but they have yet to actually process any Bitcoin sales, man. Appreciate that. Who did that? Was that Smith? Mr. Smith, appreciate you, man. Thanks for that. But they have yet to process any sales because people buy Bitcoin, but they don't sell it. Rarely do they actually sell it when they buy it. All right. If they do, they don't necessarily sell it for cash. They'll turn that Bitcoin into another crypto and then, move that crypto into something else or hold that one. But very rarely are people. That's why the price is where it is. All right. Not everybody who's buying it is selling it. But God help the cryptocurrency space when somebody pulls the fire alarm and everybody starts running for the door. God help cryptocurrency when that happens. And it will happen. But I just hope not anytime soon. HMNY, look, it is what it is on HMNY. But I'm going to be watching HMNY once they start putting out the numbers from MoviePass. They have really yet to do that. They said they signed up 400,000 people, blah, blah, blah. Yes, the stock crashed on the offering. All right, that played a lot to do with it. But, when they put out, and by the way, that offering, this is an opportunity, once you find a low on HMNY, it's an opportunity to probably get in on here, man, because once they put out the numbers on how much they're exactly making on this MoviePass business, I think it's going to surprise some people, and this could end up coming higher. So I'm still watching HMNY, as a stock that can do something, because we haven't got numbers on MoviePass yet. We really haven't got any numbers on it. All we got was the numbers of the fact that, hey, this is how much, this is how many people we signed up, but they didn't talk any numbers on in terms of how much they're making, which could be a lot of money, right? Could be a lot of money. 400,000 people paying, I think it was $20. It was $30, excuse me. It was $30. Now it's $9.99. MoviePass. Let me see. What does it cost now? It's $9.95 a month. All right, $9.95 a month. But I think there's a different option though. There's a more expensive option on that, I think. And by the way, Movie Pass, it takes a couple weeks to get too, by the way. I think it doesn't take like 2 weeks to get your card. It gets 2 weeks to get your card. And it plays basically like a debit card. Well, they say 7 to 10 days. They say 7 to 10 days, so they must have improved it. Yeah. So we'll see how it works out. But at the end of the day, HMNY still got a lot of spikeability. We saw what happened based on that announcement. Did you show that video from YouTube you want to show? No. Send me that link again. Send me that link again. We'll see what we'll fit that into the show tonight. All right. What else are you guys looking at? TGRR, Tiger Reef, Internet Gaming. You know what? Silver by the ounce. This would have been a really great stock to talk about on my show when we talk about New Jersey and what they're trying to do for to get gaming. Now, I think closing arguments for that case, New Jersey, and New Jersey, by the way, suing the federal government because right now the federal government's got a nationwide ban on sports betting. And they're basically saying that it's unconstitutional, which they more than highly favor to win. That states have the right to dictate, because it was very similar on what happened to marijuana. And big week for sports betting. I believe it's supposed to, what is the end of that? The hearing was on Monday, but I'm not sure when closing arguments are going to be. The oral arguments are going on this week, but I don't see a date for when it's all going to be said and done. But I'm watching it. What happened is you already had a congressman out of the state of Iowa who came out and said that, if this goes through and New Jersey does win, he wants the state of Iowa to be, at the forefront of sports betting. Now, those of you guys who know about Iowa, Iowa predominantly is a agricultural state, but they've been a state that's been struggling for a long time to modernize, their industries. They, came out. If you Google Iowa, Amazon, they tried to come after the state. Actually, tried to come after Amazon, but they didn't have many cities that have over 1 million in population. I don't even think they have one city with over 1 million in population in Iowa, I think, if I'm correct. But so good to see Iowa stepping up. But this could be one of those stocks to watch, though. This could be one of those stocks to watch if that gets approved, and might be an opportunity for somebody to go in now and then see how that works out. But silver by the ounce, what's that other one, that other stock from Japan that's about internet gaming? The one from Japan. God, man, I keep forgetting. It's about horse betting. It's a horse betting stock. Horse betting, Japan, OTC. I know there's a Grand Perfecta. That's them. Grand Perfecta. But what is Grand Perfecta's ticker? GPIW. That's them. GPIW. All right. But Grand Perfecta, Grand Perfecta is a sports bidding website out of Japan. But here's the thing, they're more on horse betting. They expanded into football. In fact, if you look up the news back in 2016, they expanded into football, but nothing really came up on that. Nothing really kind of happened with that. Grand Perfecta, Asian sports gaming leader with over 15 million in revenues, based in Japan and the United States. Their U.S. operations are minimal as best, if any. And they released that, they're going to expand into football. Our decision to now offer weekly and daily offerings in response to customer demand. We believe this will be the driver of future growth. And I think that probably had to do with the legalities around that. But again, if this gets approved, GPIW, TGRR, those are going to be ones to watch. I would write those tickers down, and if those get approved, those are going to be one to watch. I like TGRR because it looks like you actually got some liquidity going in and out on a daily basis. But both of these are going to be one to watch if that gets approved. All right. FCSC. Fibroscience Incorporated. Fibroscience Incorporated. Don't know much about this stock. 417,000. Matter of fact, man, I might go long on that. I might go long on that TGRR, man. I love where that is on the chart. I'm going to take a look at that again in a bit, but I love where that is. And, I love these, low entry, low risk, low downside risk trades, especially on the OTC side. Got to check where the float is first, but love where that is on the chart. And, figure out, of course, if it's currently all good with the paperwork on OTC markets. FCSC, Fibrocell. Again, don't know much about it. Oversold, working its way higher. Here's the chart right now, oversold. As you can see here, 21 on the RSI, first green day in several days. This could be one to watch here. Low RSI, very low risk. We just got done talking about it. This could be one to watch here. Myself. Always love picking an easy one. And this could be a gimme here over the next couple days going into next week. The FCSC could get you some nice little gains here. Maybe 10 cents, 20 cent move from where it is now. Very little downside risk going on here, as you just got below $1 not too long ago. So we're not too much of a risk for any NASDAQ moves in terms of price. Looks like the company just did let me see, was it a stock sale? Okay. A public offering, which is nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that, because that's an opportunity for, institutional money and large investors to get in at a better price. That's nothing wrong with that. And for the company to raise some cash. So obviously these people who are buying this stock at those discount prices obviously see something, to willing and allowing that, that foresee that the stock could be going higher, and they're buying it now to sell it at a higher price. We hope. Appreciate it, silver by the ounce. We'll definitely be taking a look at that. That's going to be one to watch. So the real value of crypto. Let me look that up while I'll be looking that up and see if I can download that while I'm on the air. I keep watching that screaming guy on BitConnect. You guys should really watch that thing. And by the way, BitConnect is sending out checks or something like that, for that matter, right now. Crazy shit. Roku is, man, look, Roku's gonna do what Roku's gonna do, bro. Until that float opens up, that's not coming down, man. Until that float opens up, or until next earnings cycle. Until the float opens up until next earnings cycle. And I can almost guarantee you that's going lower. All right. I know the Philips deal and all that stuff, but I mean, one television manufacturer, and you got a ton of smart TVs out there that basically there's no reason to use Roku, excuse me. And they came out and said they were losing money, but at the end of the day, they had significant amount of subscribers, signed up to the platform. So we'll see if they held that, and if there was improvement on that in February. What's going on, Free Ride? Let's see what else you guys are talking about. Here. What's going on, Stock Z? Cali Rob. Yeah, Roku's a piece of shit, man. Roku's a piece of shit. It's a piece of shit stock. But look, again, low float, man. Go look up lowfloat.com, man. They're easily to manipulate. And if you got guys who are willing to hold, you got a company, you got a stock that can't really be shorted, and the ones who are short aren't selling, right? I mean, the stock is going against them $52, and they didn't really cover. They didn't cover. So you can't short it. The float is tight. There's nothing you can do. The people who are buying it don't really want to sell it because they think that the shorters will cover, and they're not covering. So that tells me it's probably institutional, and then they can let those accounts go negative. Shit, they don't give a fuck. It's a bank. You said got your Roku on Black Friday for $180. Here's the thing, though. Why would you buy a Roku, though? If you got a smart TV, why would you get a Roku? That's the question I want answered. If you have a smart television in 2018, 2017, why do you get a Roku? Yeah, Craig G, that short interest is high, but that short interest isn't, it's not converting into a move, because a 42% short interest, that means with a good squeeze, which has happened several times, right? That should be, you should see guys running for the door, and Roku should be at $75 with that kind of short interest. But that tells me that most of that's got to be institutional. It's got to be, people who just have deep pockets, and they're willing to wait on it. Can you over diversify? I think there is such a thing as over diversification, but that's only when you're spread too thin, right? I mean, you're spread out too far, and you're too thin to the point where even a good move in something you're in doesn't give you the returns you need. Isn't giving you it's not generating any return because you're in it so light. Kind of like when we all first got started trading stocks, right? And you have very little money, and you thinking you're gonna make money buying one share of Walmart, one share of Verizon, one share of PayPal, one share of Netflix, one share, and then you're just sitting there watching, and nothing's fucking happening. Some go up, some go down, but you're overall, you're wasting your time. So I think, when you're spread out, and you're spread out too far thin, I think you're over diversified. EGO, Eldorado Gold Company. There was a really good segment on CNBC on Monday where one guy was explaining that Bitcoin is basically the RIP for gold. As in terms of generations, right? So the previous generation before Generation X, I don't know what I would just call them boomers, I guess. Their parents in particular value gold, and they value gold because their parents valued gold. Generation X, I don't know what the vibe is for gold on them, but I figure that they still see value in the commodity. But when you talk to people under the age of 30, or under the age of 35, I guess that's, millennials, or 32, 33, whatever it is, I don't know if they see gold the same way. And I would agree with that sentiment. I think 10 years from now, do we see gold have the same kind of value as a store or value the same way cryptocurrencies do? It's going to be interesting to see. And here's the price of gold right now, $12.57 an ounce for gold, which is not so bad in terms of 2017. If we put up the weekly chart, we see here's gold on the weekly, but overall, I mean, for the last 3-4 years, gold pretty much hasn't really done nothing. Really hasn't really done anything over the last 4 years or so. All right. It hasn't really done anything. We'll see. What a waste of a day trade. Wish you held into today. Stock Z said you shorted HMNY. Dangerous short, but yeah, you made a killing. OPTT. OPTT. This is a stock that can definitely move. If you don't know what OPTT is, they basically a renewable energy company. They create these huge, basically like rollers that kind of go out on the ocean. And as the waves do what the waves do based on the gravitational pull of the earth, right? They basically have these little veins on the ball, on this huge ball, that rotate and generate power. And that power is translated through this line. And that power, they can use it as electricity. It's just a great product, makes a lot of sense. And something that I wish they can scale up. I don't understand why this is trading at $1.09. So obviously, maybe the technology is too expensive to implement, or they're not implementing it properly. But I figure, if somebody can come in here and change the situation, this could be a lot more of an expensive stock. As you can see, this is kind of where I remember playing it last year when we kind of started the show back in June or so, right? We started back here, and OPTT was a monster for a while, and then God, just to see where it is now, it's almost sad, really. It's almost sad to see. But they got an incredible product. I just sad to see that they haven't figured it out yet, which is really interesting because if you go back to that chart, either this year or last year, I can't remember, but the government of Japan put in an order for some. And I do remember the company spiking on that news. I can't remember if it was this year or last year. But yeah, great technology. I don't know why it hasn't worked. All right. Don't know why it hasn't worked. Appreciate it, Silver by the ounce. Yeah, I'll play it tonight. Just Googled image OPTT, looks amazing. Yeah, it's an amazing product. Lamprey, it's a great idea. And, it could be, the evildoers, the Goldman Sachs of the world, and, the Exxons of the world. Because, look, these companies, they fuck shit up in purpose. We can go back to the 1950s and 1940s and see technology that we're still trying to perfect, but was created back then. We've had technology to turn salt water into fresh water for over 45 years. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of other things that go into it, man. There's a lot of politics behind technology that gets released to the masses, Quantum computing. That shit, we could have had that 20 years ago. Fiber optics. That's all that the funny excuses they put out about money and shit. We got $13 billion to put into the military, but you ain't got $100 million to get coax cables out in some of these counties out here that are still using dial-up. Look it up. There's still counties in America that are using dial-up or are still using fucking satellite internet, man. It's crazy. Crazy. Electric cars? Hell yeah, man. The powers that be, bro. Man, they've really kept us from some really great things. Look at when I was doing research way back on Tesla, and I got interested in the company, but more importantly, the person that they were named after. I mean, this guy, Nikolai Tesla, man, he was doing all kind of like crazy-ass shit, all kind of weird-ass inventions that we just haven't touched because the powers that be don't want you to touch it, man. Anyway, Tesla back up higher. Tesla was selling off several weeks ago. This is a stock that, man, a lot of people want to see Tesla get destroyed, man. There's a lot of haterade, a lot of hateration when it comes to, Elon Musk, man. There's a lot of Elon Musk haters out there in the finance world. I think there's just, It's hater, it's hate, it's jealousy, it's envy, it's all of that, man. I mean, this is a guy who's just, he made a fucking killing on PayPal. He's sending motherfuckers into space. He's selling, renewable light energy on that Solar City, and he's got Tesla. I mean, he's just doing a lot, man. And you got a lot of guys who are just jealous of this dude. They're just really fucking jealous of this guy. So they're wishing the worst on his company. But I'm telling you right now, man, that Tesla truck is the truth. If that truck comes the way that video makes it look, if it performs the way they say it's going to perform, if we're going to see 18-wheelers pulling loads, pulling 12,000-pound loads, 0 to 60 in 6 seconds, it's game over, man. It's game over, man. There's not a trucking company in the world that's not going to want one. There's not a trucking company in the world that's not going to want one. And this is on all of that, 550 miles on battery power. And that's at a full load. 500 miles at a full load. At a full load, man. Anyway, let's keep it going, man. I'm excited. I can't wait. I don't even have a what do you need to drive? A CDL? I don't even have a fucking CDL, but I'm looking forward to seeing that on the road, man. My damn self. Can you imagine that, dude? We're gonna start seeing 18-wheelers with full loads all the way on the left side of the highway, bro. Going as fast as you. That's going to be scary, too, though. That's going to be fucking scary. Now I think about it. That's going to be some scary ass shit. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to move my ass over. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm an asshole. I'll be all the way to the left, and, if there's nothing going on, I don't give a fuck, man. Go in the other lane and pass me, and I'll be all the way to the left in the speed lane. But if there's an 18-wheeler on my ass, I'm getting my ass over. 18-wheeler on my ass, full load, at 92, 93 miles an hour. I'm getting over. Hell yeah, you can have it. You can have it, sir. Yes, indeed. Yeah, he said some states have laws against that. Yeah, most states have laws against that. But I figure, you got a lot of trucks that don't follow those rules. You know what I mean? You got a lot of trucks that don't give a fuck. But most of them, most guys, they want to, trying to save money and not trying to get in no trouble. And now that I think about it, it's probably more of a reason for them to get even more vigilant in terms of making sure that they follow the rules when that truck comes out. MKTX, I don't know much about this. What is this? MKTX, low volume, only 159,000 shares, but as you can see here, been going higher over the last several years. 2017 has been a rough patch for them here. It's 2017. Looks like it hasn't been doing so good over the last year and a half or so. Don't know what's going on there. BOTZ checking up on my favorite AI stock. My favorite AI stock. Somebody give me that Watson stock again. That AI is pulling back. We saw in the video. It's across the board on tech. Well, like I said, let's find the floor, and I think you'll be back. It's across the board. We're seeing it on Cisco. Cisco actually looking. Wow, Cisco is actually looking too good. What was the one that I saw pull back? Maybe it was Intel. Yeah, okay, Intel. Yeah, Intel pulling back. Cisco. Actually, what's going on with Cisco? It's got that riding higher like that. Cisco doing real good. Okay. I know Cisco for the most part missed the run, right? Kind of 2017 was kind of out, so I don't know if guys jumping into Cisco just to say, hey, this has been cheap all year. Let me ride this one, which makes perfect sense, right? I mean, Nvidia's up. A lot of these other, STM, bots, ETF, some of these other stocks that are up huge in the tech sector. Maybe this is an opportune time to jump into profitable technology companies that just didn't see a similar move throughout the year. So that in hindsight, when I look at Actually makes good sense for Cisco to be moving now. Cisco earnings is tomorrow. Well, that makes great sense too. That's, that makes a good sense to be buying into that. All right, especially if you're predicting that they're going to be delivering solid returns on that number, which looks like last go around was pretty good for the stock. Here's the last going around. Nice, good. Where are you at on the 200? Where are you just curious? Okay, well, all right. So you're above the 200 as well. So yeah, Cisco looking so good over the last almost month, about month and a half there. Not bad. Not bad. So you play the chart of volume. Well, I like to be in stocks that have solid volume because that makes me comfortable with the price that I'm paying, right? If I'm in a stock that's only got 60,000 shares traded, 100,000 shares traded, I don't know if I'm getting a great price. It's not a very liquid market. The best market, as Alexander Graham said, is a market with many buyers and many sellers. That's where you can be assured that you're having a great price. Bitcoin right now, great price, very liquid. Forex, great price, very liquid. When you see a stock 100,000 shares, 50,000 shares, well, fuck, man. You drop some news, next thing you know, you lost 10%, 20%, God knows what. Yes, indeed. All right, CPAH. Sal Connor. Yeah. I responded to Connor. I responded to Connor in that previous video. Yeah, OTC 3000 is my Twitter. OTC 3000 is my Twitter. God damn, it's been an hour already? Shit. Every time I come here, my show, my show's supposed to be just an hour, and I feel like every time it's an hour, it's like, damn, feels like 20 minutes. It's like I just started talking. All right, let's go ahead and go through some things real quick here. I try not to keep you guys too much longer. And tomorrow I'll start the show a little bit earlier to end the week. Man, this week went by really fast. I've been working on my site, realshockingcrime.com. realshockingcrime.com. And by the way, now that I've been working on my site, and that's going to be a really good little not clickbait because all the stories are real. But man, people are sick as fuck out here, man. Check out my site, Real Shocking Crime. Now, people are sick as fuck, man. I saw there was one article with a lady who left her 3-year-old outside to freeze to death. She was getting high on meth. There was one guy who was like, he was teaching at an inner city school, right? And he was like going after like the single moms to like fuck them and shit like that, and raping single moms on the side. This guy's working as a first grade teacher in like this inner city school where all the kids are like poor as hell and stuff. I mean, people are evil as fuck out here, man. One guy was a pastor and he was like fucking the kids, and oh my God, man. And I'm putting it all together, right? And it's like, God, like, but I mean, look, it's a website and it gets a lot of traffic already, and it's just kind of disturbing to put it all together for the most part. It's been kind of disturbing that, shit like this actually happens out here. Yeah, the girl, yeah, man, the one woman who walked in the store, and you could tell she's a fat chick, and she's got these big tits, and obviously, the guy, she walked in the store and asked the guy, give me some Twinkies, and basically, I'm sure it was Twinkies and a couple other shit, and she was gonna pull out her fucking tits. And I'm thinking like, dude, if I'm in a store, right, I get paid $8 an hour. A woman walks in, willing to show me her big fucking tits for some Twinkies. I'm like, bitch, pull that shit out. Pull them fucking titties out. You know what I'm saying? That's me. You know what I mean? I'm like, shit, pull your fucking titties out. Let me see that shit. You know, I only get paid $8 an hour. Like, I'm gonna give you what the fuck you need because that shit ain't really worth nothing to me. You know what I mean? I'm only getting paid $8. I don't give a fuck. You know. But this guy went and called the police and all that shit. It probably was a woman. No, actually, it probably was a man because I mean, she said she was gonna pull out her tits, so it was probably a man. But this guy must have been a huge prude or something like that. I don't know. I want to see some titties, nigga. Shit. You know, you getting paid minimum wage. Let me see here. You getting paid minimum wage, you probably don't see a lot of titties, man. NJR. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay. All right. Let me see here. What else is going on? What else is hot right now? Let me see. But yeah, we had Ken on the line earlier talk about IMUC. Put that on your watch list tomorrow, although that might end up dumping because it's up real big already, man. It's up already 150%. But look, last week we had a 300% runner last week, so it's not like we can't do more, but just be very careful on IMUC. It's already doing a lot aftermarket, and it's probably going to sell off pre-market. We'll see how IMUC does, but be careful on that one. Already up, as I said, 150% after hours. All right. Looking like some other stocks that were interesting. GALT trying to work its way back up. We're at 249 on GALT. Actually, I loved it below there, but GALT, God, I hate the way this stock's been moving lately. Cure is another one. Looks like I missed a move on that one. Let's see. BLKCF. This is one of those blockchain stocks this global blockchain. This is the one that's supposed to be merging with BTCS, right? Is this the one that's supposed to be merging with BTCS? Let me see here. BTCS. Yeah, I think this is the one. Global. October Global focused on planned merger. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Blockchain Global. Okay, no, it's a different company. All right. The other company is called Blockchain Global. BLKCF. Blockchain Global. This one's called Global Blockchain. You see how they be playing with us with these fucking words and names, man? So, no, it's not this company. It's a different company. Decent volume on this stock, but as you can see here, just kind of recently started trading. So just be very careful with this one. Yeah, that's an ugly fucking chart, man. It's really ugly as fuck. So be careful with it. Be very careful with this one. Lamprey said sold it 2 months ago. Horrible stock. NLST. Netlist semiconductor stock. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of a semiconductor stock this is. Obviously, there's some real fundamental things that are wrong with the business for the stock to be trading at 34 cents in a time where nothing's hotter than semiconductor stocks right now, with the good ones anyway. So to see this stock doing that, I don't know. I mean, we see some semiconductors, STM. STM was a stock that found itself doing very similar kind of move low. It was a penny stock for a long time, and now all of a sudden it's winning. So to see, LNST, shitting on itself like this, that's kind of disappointing. OAS, Oasis Petroleum. Why are we selling off here on Oasis? Matter of fact, let me take matter of fact, let me look at FinViz. Let's find some easy stocks. Nothing's easy, but let's find something. Where is that? $16. God damn, this stock has been on a tear, but what's the catalyst here? God damn. Sucampo Pharmaceuticals. Way too hot now. Look at that, man. What was that? When did that start taking off? 11/27. All right, let's see some oversold. Do we got any oversold? Oversold. Acer Therapeutics. Acer Therapeutics, low volume. Only 29,000 shares traded of that. AAV, Advantage Oil, oversold. 270,000. That might not be too bad, but that looks like that's got more to come off. It's got some more to come off on that one. On AAV, AKG, gold stock going lower. Still going lower. Looks like it's probably got more to go. Dog is this is the inverse of the Dow. This is actually a really, really good short. This is a really, really good short, man. Shout out to those guys who, kind of got me introduced to playing the VIX and, getting into these ETFs. You got guys who are into these ETFs and have made quite a bit of money, trading ETFs. I mean, they are stocks, and, obviously they're stocks with a lot behind them. But yeah, they trade like stocks. They don't have single stock risk. And a lot of guys like these things. And you do have options, not necessarily on Dog, but on many of the other ETFs out there that, trade accordingly to the market. And if you're talking about volatility or you're talking about particular sectors, you got a lot of guys who made a lot of money trading ETFs this year. Dog is a great ETF to go on short or long. But if you're going to go long, it's of course go with TTQ. That's one. That's the what's this? What's the word for it? Leveraged. 3 times leveraged. Qs. What's the 3 times leverage for the Dow? I forgot what that was. Is it T-Dow? I don't think it's T-Dow. Can't remember what it was. But there's a 3 times leverage for the Dow. Off the top of my head, it's not coming to me. But there's a great site where you can pull that information up, and that's etfdb.com, etfdatabase.com. You can pull up that information over there. Yeah, Andrew, we checked out CAN. Pulled back real strong today. And look, you were high on the RSI. If I insert the MACD as well, if I insert MACD, you can probably see it as well. You got up there. You got up there on the MACD. You got up there on as well as the Bollinger Bands, right? You got outside the band. And look, now you're back in the band. So let's see if it either uses this opportunity to go higher, or do we see an attempt to continue to sell off and, end this run. Who knows what happens? So, get your indicators out. This was something that you could have seen easily on the indicators. It was coming. So, pulled back and now in the bands again. RSI had gotten to 85. Again, MACD at insane high levels on the MACD. Almost hit 1. But coming back nice and slow. All right, can I darken that, by the way? I don't know if you guys can see that. See if I can darken this a little bit. AEMD, let's take a look at AEMD. AEMD. Oh, that looks weird. How do I move this? They used to have the thing where you can, when you can like just press down and then like that indicator will move down. I don't know where they moved it to. I don't know if you guys use TradingView or not. You notice that they used to have like the up and down buttons like right here, but for whatever reason I don't know they moved it because I hate having volume above another indicator. Yeah, it's too small though. Let me get rid of it. But I don't know what they did with that. MJKTK. Let's take a look at that. AMD. I don't know why AMD is up. You know, MJTK, another stock, marijuana. Nobody's told me. Nobody's called in and told me why they're running. I don't know why they're running. You know, I haven't heard of a new state that's approved anything. I know Vegas, Nevada went through another round of offering licenses. So a lot of guys who've been waiting 9 months, a year, finally got their licenses to grow. But I don't know. Besides that, I haven't been able to get any data on why, these marijuana stocks are running. Desert, as you said, it's on the side. Merge up, merge down. No, yeah, because it used to be like right here where you just press down. I swear it was. But now I'm just seeing merge and stuff. Visual order, bring the front, bring the back. Get level, go down, hide format. Visual order, nope. Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out later. I'll send the email. I got a little connect at TradingView. Does Chatterbait trade yet? I don't know. Don't know if Chatterbait trades. What is Chatterbait again? Is that the one that we used to fuck with back in like high school or whatever, where you just connect with random people and people just kind of creeps, and there's always that one creep that's jacking off? What's the name of that place again? Gosh, what was the name of that site? It's like you connect with Okay, Chatterbait is an adult site. Oh, okay, it's a webcam. All right, it's a webcam site. Oh, okay, it's one of those. But there's another. This is not a cam site. Chat Roulette. There it is. Yeah, Chat Roulette, bro. Chat Roulette. That's the name of that fucking shit. Chat Roulette. Yeah, man, that was like the little thing in high school, bro. It's like if you and your buddies were having a sleepover and shit like that, and in high school or middle school, the sleepovers, they were always like, to play GoldenEye all fucking night and shit. And or NBA, whatever it is, 2K. And sometimes just to fuck around, you go on Chat Roulette. And there's always a motherfucker jacking off, dude. Always, dude. Always a motherfucker. That should always be funny as hell, dude. It's always a motherfucker jacking off on there. You said you met a girl off Brazil from that shit? Okay. Yeah. Chat Roulette. That's funny. I don't know. It's kind of creepy to use now that I'm older. Just some random person, and ACBFF. Aurora Cannabis down 2%, holding up real well. Here's Aurora Cannabis actually holding up real well. I mean, it's a pump, going through some kind of pump, so. I don't know how you really kind of play this. 50, damn, it's a little tight. 15. All right, 15 holding it up real nicely. You're just below it now on the daily chart. Let's see how this holds. Here on the 15 moving average, you held it for a while and got back higher, but now you're fighting to hold on ACBFF. Look like you could be going a little bit lower. You said go on it. Yeah, man, we should have a Well, they won't be able to see the chat room though. Maybe we should have one day. We'll have an episode where we're just going through chatterbait and shit, just seeing who pops up and kind of conversations we could have. That'd actually be a pretty interesting episode. All marijuana were down today. Well, not MCOA. Not MCOA. We pulled up MCOA. MCOA was up. That's marijuana. What else? Was CBIS? How about CBIS? CBIS, somewhat of a gain. MJNA. No gain, no loss. What else is out there? Off the top of my head. MJNR. What's that? USRM? No, that's not a marijuana play. Oh, USRM was actually up. Okay, shit. Real quick, giggles and hugs. Nothing over there. What else? Rising India. What's going on with Rising India? That was a marijuana play. Had a incredible run earlier in the year. If you guys remember Rising India, this is a marijuana play. Not doing much right now. Actually sitting pretty right here, by the way, too. A Rising India. It's actually sitting real nice. OWCP. 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 All right. God, I would have loved to hear that. No, actually, no. That was a couple days, but for the most part, he got back below that 15. Got to be careful with that one. POTN. Jay Flores, you said you lost on Rising India. That was a tough one to play when it was running. You didn't know how far that was going to go. But Rising India actually looks pretty decent now if you're willing to hold a little bit. But again, I don't know how diluted the stock could be now after all that. POTN, if you guys remember, this was a pump for a while ago. Man, incredible run on POTN. That was insane. Now up 6%. Kush Bottles. Kush Bottles, KSHB, right? Kush Bottles, yeah. Kush Bottles is another one, man. I wrote a great little write-up on my website, advancedequityresearch.com. And, again, but that site pulled back that stock pulled back just slightly today. Hopefully that comes down. I can grab some of that at a cheaper price. Doing a lot of the right things over there at Kush Bottles. SANP. Sanofi. I don't know too much about this one, man. Looks like it's not doing so well over the last, 90 days. Here's the last 90 days. I mean, you've lost almost $12 worth of value in the stock. Not the cheapest stock in the world, right? $74 a share. You're at 38, trying to work your way higher there. Are you below the 200? Yep, you are below the 200 moving average. You got a ways to go to get back up there, too. Below the 100 as well. So, yeah, you're kind of down there now on SANP. As you see here, primary trend is very bearish, too, for most of the year. So, a lot of things going wrong with SANP. SC Trucker, are you talking about? Hold on. Okay, no, you're talking about the OTC SANP. Because I looked at it, I was like, who brought this up? And I was like, nah, you don't trade these kind of stocks. All right, so you're talking about, all right, well, yeah, if that was your lottery ticket, you got your number called, bro. If that was your lottery ticket, you got your number called. Let me go ahead and let me sing the King's Cheer for you. Congrats to you. Somebody got their number called on SANP. Congratulations to that winner. Yeah, Bill Betts, that's insane, man. What's going on with Overstock.com? I mean, I don't know if but they put up some good numbers in the earnings. If you read the earnings report, they actually did put up some really good numbers. So it's not like, hey, we're on Bitcoin, so buy our stock. They're actually doing pretty good for the most part. So, actually doing really good. And there is OSTK for the daily chart, as you can see here, doing very good for most of the year, man. Doing really, really good. That's why I'm really excited about, using these averages, and then with the market the way it's going, I'm really excited about guys having the ability to be using, options now on Robinhood, and they can be able to do it for free. A lot of guys didn't know how to do it. Now this is going to be an opportunity to get a lot of guys to at least learn about how to trade options. And again, if this bull market continues, I think you're going to see a lot of guys who are going to be able to make, quite a bit of money with very little money using, simple things like, moving averages and learning how to stay in trades, and trade options, getting into stocks that they otherwise couldn't afford. Absolutely. By the way, we saw that sell off a little bit in Facebook a couple days ago. Now it's trying to work its way back higher, but Facebook is another tech stock that's kind of been slowing up a little bit, but for the most part, we know what it is. Facebook is a $200 stock. It's coming. It's coming with time. OSTK options priced insanely. Well, it's got a lot of volatility. That's why. That high implied volatility is gonna make it cost a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? If you look at same thing as you see with, Amazon. You go to Amazon. Amazon options are very expensive. Priceline. You go to all those ones. It's not just necessarily price. It's the fact that, look, if it could move a lot, it's going to cost you. You're going to pay a lot more premium. Yeah, you're going to pay a lot more premium. OSTK options, yeah. But that's why, look, if you can't like it but you love options, man, go long in PayPal, bro. I got 75. I got 80 for next year PayPal. I think 2018 is going to be a big year for PayPal, especially if the crypto market continues to do what it's doing. If they figure it out, especially if they start getting pressure from Overstock, which doesn't have a platform necessary for sending money and receiving money. But if they start allowing Bitcoin usage, they can end up getting into that space very easily. So that could be a threat to PayPal's business and could force them to get into the market sooner rather than later. Yeah, I'm long PayPal. Got some puts that are kind of going against me right now. Macy's, which, this tax bill is, a lot of people are actually saying this could be a help to retail. That's why we're seeing XRT. I might actually end up having to dump some of these retail plays that I thought going into 2018 is going to be really great trades to work, to play going down. I'll hold a little bit longer. But I don't like holding losing positions very long. And I'm quick to walk away from something that isn't working. But retail, look, this tax bill works in the favor of companies that have, insanely large employee bases and stuff like that. So large retail in particular, works to benefit off this new tax plan. So, well, it's a disaster for working people. Absolutely. It's a disaster for working people. This tax plan is a disaster for working people. If you make less than $150,000 a year, this is a horrible, horrible tax plan for you. It is what it is, man. At the end of the day, money controls our government. So, what can you do? Retail up huge across the board. Yeah, well, the tax plan has a lot to do with that. So retail is up huge. How Dollar Store go to what? Yeah, Dollar. You playing Dollar General? I don't know what Dollar General looks like on the option side, but Dollar General is another one. Dollar General, that's a stock that I think is a $100 stock. That's a company that win or lose in the market in terms of overall. Is Dollar General liquid on the options pretty well, actually? Yeah, no liquidity here. Yeah, no liquidity at all for the most part. I'm not seeing too much open interest now. It practically doesn't exist. Yeah, so I think this is you're pretty much just gonna have to play the stock here, which the stock itself is very liquid. The stock itself is really liquid. 2.7 average is about 3.5. So it was a low day today, but 3.5 is the average there on Dollar General. Headed higher. Nice trade. I'm using a 15, but you can use one that's spread out a little bit further. You use a 50. And as you can see here, it kept you into the trade for the most part. Looking real nice. But again, if you want big pops, again, you can go with the leveraged. Let me get rid of this 15 because sometimes you can get false signals with that. If you like the big pops, this leveraged ETFs can always do really good with that as well. All right, leveraged ETFs. Yeah. BW, how's BW checking? BW, oh shit, look at that. BW doing its best, trying to fill the gap. You hit 536, which is above the gap. The line is at 522. You hit 536 today, but you got to get buyers to commit to filling the gap. You got to get buyers to commit above that 522. Unfortunately, that didn't happen today. Let's see how that played out on the 5-minute chart. All right, so as you can see here, a lot of resistance at the gap. And it looks like it tried it a couple times, man. It could have tried it a couple times, but unfortunately, just couldn't get it. A lot of volume. Guys trying to get that easy money to fill the gap, and then bounce and run. But unfortunately, you weren't able to get above there and have buyers commit to those higher prices. It pulled back to 595, closing at 597. All right. Got some nice tickers for the future here, though. I'm loving them OTC picks he gave us. So that green, it's just a measurement of where that falling window, where the falling window opened up at for that day, and that would be the beginning of the gap being filled. And, I don't project the company to fill the entire gap. But then again, I don't know what the balance sheet is. I don't exactly know what exactly the full story behind the company. But the idea is for you to, even 10 or 20% above the falling window is very, very possible. And that's always a nice little thing to play. Either the oversold into, out of the oversold levels, or going and playing into the gap and trying to look for 10 to 20% into the gap, and then running with that. WAC is such a, I don't know. A lot of guys are kind of backwards on that. Obviously, it was a loser, over the year because it is such a retail focused stock. If you don't know, WAC is basically a company that it's a real estate investment trust for the most part, but it doesn't pay dividends, so it's not a real estate investment trust. So it's basically a company that owns significant amount of properties in real estate. They rent out the space. They got holdings like Sears, Macy's, JCPenney, companies that aren't doing so hot right now, and WAC was a victim to its own business. So as you can see here, over the last several years, it has been losing money, as retail been losing money, and people aren't going to the malls like they used to. But again, the tax plan got announced, and that's a boom to, again, companies that are in the retail space that have huge, employee bases. Right? So you're gonna pay fewer taxes. It's sad. It's really sad because these businesses don't need to be thriving right now in terms of just being able to keep them alive again. This tax plan is basically a redistribution of wealth from poor people to rich people. Because with these lower taxes, they're not going to hire people. They're not going to increase their operations. They're simply going to buy more shares, and that only helps people who are already investors and who have been investors for years upon years upon years. And that typically is individuals who are part of the 1%, So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. All right. BBY, let's keep it going. BBY, and that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt kids in particular. You know, because with that little revenue that's gonna be generated, it's gonna help. It's gonna hurt our kids, man. It's gonna hurt our kids. BBY, Best Buy. Best Buy. If you remember, Best Buy had a hard time. A lot of negative publicity during the hurricanes. Oh, they're selling water for $50 a case. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Best Buy this, Best Buy that. Now looking like a great, great opportunity for somebody who was here in stock or in options. Go out a couple months now, almost 90 days later, you're up huge in Best Buy. Best Buy was a winner during earnings season. Came out, said same-store sales for the most part were positive, and they didn't see the losses that so many others in the retail spaces were sustaining. So people still like to buy technology, and when they want it now, they want it now. And Best Buy is a great place to get technology now. But now going into the future with Amazon, continuing to gain in their space, and now with 24-hour offerings, 2-day offerings, how does that continue to hurt Best Buy? Does it continue to hurt Best Buy? That's going to be one we'll continue to watch. We'll continue to watch. So, is Best Buy going to be around 10 years from now the way it is? I don't think so. But right now they're winning, and they're finding a way to win. They're finding a way to win. Yes, indeed. One stock I'm watching in particular, you guys know I hate this one too. GameStop. GameStop came out. They've been losing their ass for years. They've been losing their ass for years, but they came out and actually surprised a lot of traders in earnings, because a lot of traders had lost their ass on that. They expected a huge downside move on GameStop. GameStop ended up coming up beating estimates and coming out and saying their used game market was actually overperforming, and caught a lot of investors off guard on GameStop. Finally now, could we see GameStop finally coming back lower? So that's a stock you can be taking a look at. But again, liquidity, not too much of an issue. I mean, there's some liquidity there on GameStop. You're going to have to go out a little bit. I see a lot of liquidity, or at least open interest, on some of these $19 puts going for $235 right now. You got some open interest there, over 1,000 there. So, got some ways to go here. Got some ways to go. Actually, that's a really nice put, actually, to be in the $19. I usually like to be $1 in the money as well too. That's always nice to kind of be in one that's already in the money slightly and just adding on to the profit. All right. Yeah. GameStop is actually finding a way to win, man, on used game sales. But again, I'm looking at what the game makers are doing. I don't know why they're still fucking making CDs, DVDs. I mean, they're DVDs now, but gosh, I can't understand why they're still fucking making these things. They should be online only games where you buy the console and you're just streaming it from the internet, right? But as we got done talking about earlier in the show, you got a lot of guys who living out in the country some fucking where, who still don't have great connections to the internet. And if you're Sony, if you're Microsoft, do you jump to a platform like that and try to test that, kind of console only stream all games platform? That's the future. That's the future. And that's why they've built their, PlayStation has built already a network around that. Microsoft is too. PlayStation's far ahead in terms of that kind of network that they're building, where you're streaming the game online and whatnot. So that puts GameStop out of the market, puts GameStop out of business over the next couple of years. Do I think this helps retail companies in the long run? I don't know, man. I don't know how, this, and at the end of the day, they get to, save a lot of money by, taking that tax money and being able to buy shares back, right? And being able to buy shares back. So that enables them to manipulate their stock. And this is a buy. This is, I got to be honest. This tax plan is a buy for retail. It's a buy for retail. And how long it keeps them going, I don't know. And I think that's why the next earnings cycle is going to be very, very important, because in February, we're going to be able to say, okay, yeah, look, we got the earnings, we got the tax plan, right? Because it would have been all passed by then. We got the tax plan, but these retail companies are still losing. So once we get there, then I think we get back to losing again. But for the most part, I think until then, some of these retail companies are a buy, bro. Unfortunately. Stay away from shit that requires disposable income. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much disposable income out there right now. You got a lot of people who do have a lot of money, though. You have people out here who do have money. You have a lot of people who don't have money. But even people who don't have money, at the end of the day, still need to buy food, still pay rent, still need to do what they got to do. And unfortunately, people with a lot of money also are people who aren't necessarily the best at spending habits. So they will continue to spend money that they don't have and should be better off saving. And that's kind of that keeps America going. It keeps America going. So, yeah. Yeah, my thing is, we're cutting taxes and we're not cutting spending. We're cutting taxes, but we're not cutting spending. That it doesn't make sense to me. If the stock market is doing so great, all these companies are doing so well, why are we cutting taxes? And the excuse is, well, in Ireland, this is only 10% in Ireland. Why are we fucking comparing ourselves to Ireland? It should be a privilege to be able to do business in America. The American consumer is the most intelligent, the most wealthiest consumer in the world, period. It's a privilege to do business here. You know what I'm saying? Fuck Ireland, fuck all that, you know what I mean? So we're not cutting spending. So all these baby boomers, they're still getting their Social Security checks on the backs of our children, on the backs of us. And that deficit continues to balloon. It just hurts us in the end, man. And we're going to suffer that depression, or our kids. And the depression is coming, man. A depression is coming. We got to pay that bill, man. But at the end of the day, look, the dollar is backed by nuclear weapons and a lot of bullets. But at the end of the day, one day the math is not going to add up. And that printing money shit, that game is going to be over. But that's why Bitcoin is running. So Bitcoin is, you got some guys who are out here speculating, including me and hundreds of thousands, millions of people around the world speculating that the end of fiat currency is nigh. And we'll see. The future will tell. Visa, Amex, yeah, I'm really interested to see how, we already have companies like Visa that have already implemented, what's that card, like BitGo or something like that, BitCard, I don't know. There's already a card out there that's already, I don't think it's co-signed by Visa though. I got to confirm that. But there are debit cards out there where allowing people to go to ATM machines, go to regular stores, and if they have a Bitcoin wallet connected to that card, you can use, money as, you can use your Bitcoin day to day, seamlessly. Here's the thing, though. From the basic things that I've read about that, when you use your money, when you use your Bitcoin, you're not getting like market rate, right? It's like a set thing, obviously, because they got to make money, and it is what it is. I get that. But it's going to be interesting to see how companies like Visa, MasterCard. MasterCard, I think, is MA, right? MA? Yeah, MA is MasterCard. You know, both companies that have been doing very, very well this year. Both companies that have been doing very, very well this year. It's going to be interesting to see how they find a future in a world with Bitcoin. You know, how are they going to play that? What role are they going to be playing in that? You know, they both benefited off a fiat market. You know, Litecoin 1000. Oh, Litecoin 1000 is for sure, bro. Litecoin 1000 is a sure thing. Just as we're looking at Ripple going to $1. I think Ripple easily $1. Easily $1 Ripple. Litecoin 1000, you know, look at the, you know, Bitcoin, you know, something's got to give with Bitcoin when it comes down to transaction time and, you know, speed. So either they're going to have some kind of meeting or with the heads or whatever it is, but they got to figure that out, man, because Bitcoin, you know, when we're looking at Coinbase and I'm reading stuff where people say, well, there are 170,000 transactions that haven't been done on the ledger and all this kind of bullshit. And I'm seeing Litecoin is like, yeah, Litecoin is 4 times faster, 4 or 5, blah, blah, blah. Something's got to be done, man. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. You know, and silver by the ounce, I know you were talking about Bitcoin Cash, but Litecoin might do better than Bitcoin Cash, man. I think by this summer, we'll find out by this summer, but Bitcoin Cash is falling on its ass last I checked. BCC, I think it is. Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash Bitcoin Cash ain't really doing so hot. And I'm convinced Litecoin could pass Bitcoin Cash. Litecoin could pass Bitcoin Cash. Are we back under the Bollinger? Nope, not yet. Here's Litecoin. We're still above the bands there on Litecoin. So it looks like, you know, we got the market selling it, but let it come back into the bands, man, so we can go ahead and run again. But you got guys getting a little bit too eager here. Andrew, yeah. I filled out. I'm waiting to get approved. So I was under the impression that they were like Coinbase. You just get approved the same day. You know, because Coinbase, I was up and running in like 15 minutes, man. And you go to these other brokers, and you know, they want you to wait and get this approved. It's pending, and you know, all that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, can't use credit card. You got to actually put in your banking information, which I don't fucking like doing. You know, you can cancel a debit card, credit card, but once you put in your fucking account information, goddamn, I hate giving them to these, and these are, you know, companies outside of America, you know what I mean? So it's like, shit. I don't like giving them that shit, you know? But this whole idea of doing this arbitrage of buying coins at a cheap broker, selling it on Coinbase, it makes perfect sense on paper, but I'm actually trying to pull it off, preferably in Litecoin, just because you can really stack it up on Litecoin. Bitcoin's too slow. Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead and ring the bell, get up out of here. Let me go ahead and ring the bell. Decent show today, guys. I appreciate you joining me. Sorry for that audio problem at the beginning of the show. Press like on this video right now. I'll be back to wrap up the week tomorrow. It was, uneventful day for the most part on the markets. You know, saw some good industry sell-off. Bitcoin stocks doing pretty well. Riot sold off. We got a really nice stock to look forward to in the morning with IMUC. Shout out to Silver by the Ounce by giving us the video, as well as as well as those two stocks that we can really, really look to for sports betting if that passes anyway. If that passes. Yeah, silver by the ounce. I downloaded it. I'm going to have that ready tomorrow. I downloaded it. I got that ready. And I'm going to be here early tomorrow. So we'll definitely knock that out. Appreciate it, Andrew. Thanks talking to you, too. I talked to Andrew today on the phone. Launder Carter, what's up, man? Appreciate you, Joel Kraft. Thank you as well. Shout out to all the people who are on the show today. Let me call you guys out as always. Jobin, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Subscribe if it's your first time here. Callie Rob, Lamprey Milt, Silver by the Ounce, Maurice King, appreciate you. James Cade, SC Trucker, thank you. Troy Tolbert, all the people who watch my show, you guys know who you are. Check out my site, realshockingcrime.com. Share it with your friends. Check it out, man. realshockingcrime.com. Check it out, guys. Take care. See you tomorrow. Happy trading. Take care. Bye-bye. Later, Bill Betts.